Hey guys, welcome back to Defeating Hair Loss. I'm Steve. I'm here again, lucky me, to be with the model of the year, Bobby D.
Thanks, Steve. Keep me young, man.
I got a nickname for you every time we film, right? Well, today you get a special nickname because you just like shaved the back of your head. It looks incredible.
Oh, man. They did a good job, Steve.
Your hair, it seems like your hair's looking better all the time. Like mine's just kind of staying status quo, but man, I'm trying to catch up and I keep falling behind. Anyway, it's great to have you back.
Thanks, Steve.
So, Bobby, one of the reasons I wanted to have you, besides just showing what amazing work can be like and all that stuff, and the fact that you're very acclimated to finasteride and minoxidil and all that, so everybody out there that watches this channel can understand you're a live, breathing human, like great example of what my dream is for everybody. I wanted to talk about different levels. It's almost a little bit like, if you have anyone in your family or any of your circles of friends, hopefully not, that has alcoholism and has to go through that Alcoholics Anonymous thing. I think there's like a 12-step program. Am I right about that? 12-step, I think.
No,
it's either 9 or 12. Anyway, but the point is I think that, I'm a big believer in kind of like really looking at things, kind of like analyzing things. Many times I overanalyze things. But, it's interesting how hair loss has taught me through my life that maybe, looking back, I made some mistakes. Maybe I shouldn't have moved too quickly. Maybe I should have been less emotional. I mean, it's easy to say now, right? Yeah. Isn't that what they call Monday morning quarterback?
Yeah, overreaction.
How the Jaguars doing, by the way?
Doing good, Steve. Beat the Chiefs.
He's got a big smile on his face from that. Okay, so here's the point. What I wanted to talk about today, and I wanted Bobby here as again, a live model. And a lot of times, most of the time, he doesn't even know what I'm going to talk about. And he doesn't know right now what I'm going to talk about. So Bobby, what I did was I put together 5 different levels of hair loss panic.
All right.
Now,
I've experienced it.
Yeah. So, think about it, right? So, whether you're female, male, any gender, any age, any race, it really doesn't matter. Like I always say, hair loss doesn't discriminate. So emotion is very challenging to someone like me who happens to be very emotional about a lot of things. And
Me too.
I think you too. Yes, you do. That's right. You are. I think it makes us more of the kind of people that care and get our feelings hurt. Unfortunately. And when it comes to hair loss, it's like you have no control, at least not initially. So I wanted to put together the 5 levels, not 12. This is not a 12-step thing, 5. So let's go from like the bottom up, which means that the number 5 would be like, not a big deal, which is hard to believe for me and you. And then number 1 is like pure, pandemonium. Okay. So we'll talk about it. So number 5 is men or women or anybody that doesn't really care too much, or at least we don't know it. They could kind of take it or leave it. If you actually spoke to them, let's say you're in your real early 30s. So, if it didn't bother you, which is hard to believe. And then I said to you, hey Bobby, I met you through a friend and it seems like you're losing your hair, which once you get done punching me in the face for embarrassing you in the front of a bunch of people, then you might say like, what, Steve, it just doesn't bother me. I just plan on shaving it anyway. It's hard to believe, right?
Some people like that, though.
But there are some people out there. And, I found on YouTube, which I love, obviously, YouTube has these channels of like guys that shave their heads like completely bald. And they have like 100,000 subscribers. Like there's a lot of people out there that claim completely bicking the head, shaving the head completely is like the biggest liberation they've ever had in their lives. Now, don't take this the wrong way because there's a lot of them and there's only me and you here today. But I call that kind of like, cashing in your chips, kind of being lazy. I don't know. It seems the easy way out. And if you're okay with the big shaved head, then I'm okay with it because I want people to be happy. So number 5 is, it seems like a lot of people, not a lot of people, some people just could take it or leave it, right? And you probably met a couple people like that. It's kind of weird if you try to talk to them and they're like, what are you talking about? Like, yeah, I met you in high school. It's now like 5 years later and you're kind of going bald. Oh, yeah, I didn't even notice. I find that hard to believe, but that's what it is. Number 4. Number 4 are very interesting because number 4 is people that deny it, people that cover it up. Now, this is a sad one. They don't accept it. And the worst part of it is for me out there in the world trying to save everybody from hair loss is that if they don't accept it and realize it, they're going to miss out on those opportunities to get on that medication and stop it from getting worse. But, not that I run up to people that I know or I don't know and say, hey, what's going on with your head, your hair, like, are you losing it? But these people will deny Meaning like, no, I'm not, my hair's always been less. Like my dad had a kind of
I have
receding
a friend
hairline.
like that.
Right?
Yeah.
My dad had, meanwhile, you got like his yearbook picture in high school and he's got like this Eddie Munster hairline and now it's like back here. Hey, listen, again, it's not that we're trying to ridicule people or pick on people. It's just we're trying to help them in case they're interested in the future.
Yeah.
So that's number 4. They're really just not there yet. And I think they know, but they just can't accept it. Number 3 is kind of in the middle, obviously. Number 3 is like, there's no serious panic, but at the same time, they're kind of exploring. And the good news about the number 3s is they have plenty of time. They have time left to get on the medication, which we talk about 85% of the time on this channel. This is what I spend a lot of my time in my life doing, including neighbors and all that stuff. I was at a high school football game last night, and the Charles Schwab guys there, we're kind of hanging out, and he knows I do this, I know he does that. We talk about hair. He's got good hair, by the way.
Nice.
So number 3, it's like, listen, guys, you need to jump on board. You need to get ready to go. You need to kind of send in your comments or questions or texts to this channel, to me, to Bobby. Go to Bobby Dunlap. He's got a lot of good hair stuff on there. The point is, you got to start moving. You got to start moving before it gets too late. Number 2 is, this is kind of a sad one. This is someone that is just kind of pissed off, okay? They're losing their hair. They know it. They don't want to be reminded of it, but they're angry. They're angry about it. They're almost like, why me? I don't know if these people, because again, I don't jump into it with them, are doing anything about it or not, but they don't like it. They're aware of it. They're not happy. And you can usually find that out, after, if you're at a party, you got a couple beers in you, and then, you hear a conversation, and you'll see those guys, and, like today's world, because hair restoration is so popular now, somebody like Bobby's telling his story, and then those guys that don't want to talk about it will kind of move away from that circle, right?
True.
So that's kind of sad, but again, they kind of, go to number 3, which is still have time. Number 1, and that's moi.
Me too, Steve.
And Bobby too.
Been there.
And we get along so good, right? Jump off a bridge. Like, what are the bridges around Texas? Are there bridges around? Because, George Washington Bridge was my bridge, because I lived like 22 minutes from George Washington Bridge. And I was like, man, if I have to go through my life bald, I'm just going to the George Washington Bridge. And I'm just jumping on. It's funny, as I used to drive, my grandfather got sick, and he was like a one car, like a little car, it's like limousine. I say limousine, sir, car service. And I lived like 22 minutes from the George Washington Bridge, and so did he. He lived kind of in the town I did. And I had to drive for him when I was like 18. So I used to help him take his customers into Manhattan, into all the 5 boroughs, as a matter of fact. And of course, when we're going into, whether it's out to Long Island with them or we're going up to the Bronx, we would take the George Washington Bridge. And, so there's always traffic, right? And so the George Washington Bridge, it's a suspension bridge. And I was a kid, and it's like moving, and it's like really high up. So when I say I'm going to jump off the George Washington Bridge, not exactly, but it was pretty close.
Yeah, I remember mine too, Steve, and I was falling out, so I had to call you years ago, freaking out.
Oh yeah, it was. Listen, that journey that I was on at that time, and that panic and that anger, I was like number 1, 2, and 3. Of course, there was no, treatments then. But I was in pure panic. Like, I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know who was going to help me. All I knew was on each side of the family, there was an uncle that was bald at like 17. Jeez. And I don't know how I figured all this out, but I'm like, I'm finished. Like, I'm done. I'm like the golden boy. I used to caddy on a golf course. We talk about we love golf. And, I used to make a lot of money as a kid because, you go for 5 hours and another 5 hours. And on the, in the summertime, it made all my hair blonde. And it was part in the middle. And I was like, feeling pretty good. Athlete like yourself, high school athlete, college athlete. And all of a sudden, the hair's gone.
Yeah.
You look 10 years older. Whew, that's tough to take, especially when you're 17, 18. So the pure panic, what I would tell those of you out there, if you're watching this, is you have so many more options. You have the options Bobby had, and just take a look at his hair. Go to his channel at Bobby Dunlap and just look at his hair. He was going bald. He was going bald. He caught it in time. Yeah, I take a lot of credit for that, but that's not what this is about. This is about Bobby being a model, not just because he's super good looking and got great hair and he's all bodybuilding. None of that. It's some of that. It all has to do with him catching it in time. And then, of course, these treatments are not going to completely restore that hairline. That's where the hair restoration part comes in. So anybody out there that's in any level of denial, acceptance, not knowing what to do, crying at yourself to sleep, kind of, sort of, other than those that just don't care, and actually they're my heroes as well. Those that just don't care, if you really don't care, I applaud you. But if you're faking it, you need to, fix this pretty quick. So anyway, a lot of information today, Bobby. Thank you for being my model as always. And we hope that this, is a lot of education for you that helps you in any decision. So don't panic. There's things we can do. Let us know. And don't forget to like and subscribe.